Welcome to Review Nation and welcome to the best metal albums of February 2020. This month has been such a really great month of metal. There's been so many albums that have been released. This month has just been solid. There's been amazing upcoming bands as well that have delivered amazing music. This list is completely subjective. Comment below your top 20 or even top 10 or top 5 metal albums of February. And let's get the ball rolling. Number 20.
It takes a mastermind to infiltrate and replay.
It is God Dethroned Illuminati. This is a really good album. I just really enjoy the song Broken Halo, Love Illuminati as well. Now, his vocals are very good, quite harsh and aggressive. This is sort of a blackened death metal album incorporating brutal death metal as well. And I just really love the guitars throughout this album. Eye of Horus is one of the songs that I'm not really into, to be honest, but Blood Moon Eclipse basically just summarize what the album is about. This is a very experimental album by God Dethroned, and you should definitely check it out. Number 19 is KROSIS Split. Okay, this was a really good album. At times they incorporate black and roll along with black metal elements, but they also incorporate some post-punk metal, and I really do enjoy this album. This is a very in-your-face album. It's quite energetic, not to mention Brighter Brown, one of my favorite songs by KROSIS of all time. It's a very mixed album. They definitely go back to the roots, but the new singer is just absolutely fantastic in this, and I really enjoyed this album. Number 18 is Seven Spires and the album Emerald Seas. Now, this is a very enjoyable album. It really is. There are 13 tracks, but this album has everything, and I mean everything. It's got elements of death metal. It's got elements of black metal. I just really love her shrieks throughout this album, but she's got some really nice clean vocals. This is a very head-banging album. You got really soft songs, no words exchange, and then you got some really hard-hitting songs like Drowner of Worlds. This is a very good album. I love that this was a really good album, but there are other albums that were slightly better than Emerald Seas. Okay, so we're moving on into death metal now, and it's NECROWRETCH, The Ones from Hell. Alright, this is a fantastic album. It's sort of a melodic death metal album, but I really love those harsh, aggressive vocals, and not to mention those guitar riffs are so damn contagious as well. I just really enjoy the song Luciferian Sovereignty, along with Codes Obscuritas. Codes Obscuritas! I love that. It's on the borderline of black and death metal, you could say. It's very fun. It's a very fun album. It's in your face as well. Amazing band they are. You definitely need to check out this if you like death metal. Alright, so let's go on to Norwegian black metal, and it's Natverd Stigdom. Okay, so I reviewed this album on the channel. I thought this was a fucking fantastic album. It's a black metal album, and some songs are just absolutely fantastic. Now, you could say this is sort of a meat and potatoes black metal album, but my god, the riffs are so damn catchy. Not to mention his vocals are so damn intense and aggressive. I love Dragsvold. That's an amazing song. And the last track, can't even pronounce it, but my god, this album's fantastic. If you like black metal, check out Stigdom Natverd. It's quite an atmospheric album. I just love the instrumentals. The instrumentals are so damn good. Not to mention those guitar riffs are fucking catchy as anything. This is a great album. Check it out. We move on to a thrashy metalcore band. It's Cycle of Suffering by SYLOSIS. This is a really good album. It really is, and I love it. I love Calcified. I love that song, Calcified. Not to mention the guitar solos on this album are just absolutely magnificent, and I really enjoy his vocals. His vocals are harsh and aggressive at times, but he sort of incorporates cleaner vocals throughout this album, especially throughout the conclusion of the album. This is mainly all just harsh vocals. Through songs like Abandoned, it's more of a cleaner vocal style. I've listened to this album countless times, but there are other albums that are slightly better, in my opinion. Before we move on, here are some honorable mentions. There's a few honorable mentions on this video, and you're probably raging because Sepultura isn't in my top 20. But you know what? I'm not really a big fan of Sepultura. And metal elitists will go, what do you mean you're not a big fan of Sepultura? Their music just doesn't do it for me, unfortunately. Unfortunately, the album was good, but in my opinion, there are other better albums than Sepultura's QUADRA. And if you all have a problem with that, just drop a comment below on why I'm wrong. So coming in at number 14 is a very doomy instrumental album, and it's called Insect Arc, The Vanishing. Right, this is a really cool album. It's very atmospheric, it's quite ambient. It's an instrumental album. So there's no vocals, but my god, the band are fantastic. They really are. It's very eerie. It's a very eerie album as well. Happy vibes throughout the first two, three songs, and then all of a sudden it just drowns you in a world of sorrow, and I absolutely love it. And when you get to The Vanishing, which is like a 10-minute 50 instrumental, you just feel so damn depressed, and I absolutely love it. Yeah, so if you like doomy instrumentals, you're going to love Insect Arc, The Vanishing. Okay, so let's move on to a sludgy black and roll album, and it's Black Royal FIREBRIDE. In your face album. It's just brilliant. I love how fast and energetic the songs are. Not to mention Pagan Savior is an amazing song. I love when Gods of War, FIREBRIDE is amazing, and the For the Dead Travel Fast. This is a really intense melodic death metal album, could you say? Incorporate elements of black metal, but in the black and roll style. This is an awesome album, really is. And although the album's quite short, it's definitely one of the best albums of February 2020. Coming in at number 12 is DELAIN, Apocalypse and Chill. This was a really good, fun album, incorporate elements of pop. Not to mention Masters of Destiny is a very catchy song, and that The Greatest Escape, slightly cheesy but fun. I love Burning Bridges, a very catchy chorus, and not to mention that instrumental track, which was one of the best tracks off the album, Combustion, progressive, got djenty elements, sounds a bit like Dream Theater as well. I love the progressive elements throughout this song. It's a very fun and energetic album by DELAIN, one of the best. Apocalypse and Chill, I was very impressed with it, that's why it's sitting in that spot. So one album I didn't expect to enjoy, but I damn well did. It's Five Finger Death Punch's F8. This was a really enjoyable album, very fun, fast, hard-hitting album as well. The riffs on this at times are quite repetitive, but damn, they work. I love Ivan's vocals throughout this album. They said they were going to change, and they certainly did change, incorporating orchestral elements throughout some of these songs. Living the Dream is one of the weakest songs off the album, in my opinion. I love Full Circle, Inside Out. Darkness Settles In, one of my favorite Five Finger Death Punch songs of all time. Brighter Side of Grey, a beautiful ballad. This Is War, hard-hitting, thrashy song. Disregard the lyrics though. The lyrics are a bit cringe, but my god, instrumentally, it's a great album by Five Finger Death Punch. It really is. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Not the best album, but definitely right up there. Alright, so before we get on to our top 10, here are some more honorable mentions. coming at number 10 is
Everybody wants them until we meet them. Everybody wants them.
Ozzy Osbourne, Ordinary Man. Now this is such a emotional, feel-good album. It really is, and I love this album overall. I just delete those 2 Post Malone songs, and my god, this album is beautiful, so good. His vocals sound so clean in this. I don't know how much was edited in the studio. I love how emotional All My Life is. Goodbye, Ordinary Man is beautiful, featuring Elton John in the Slash guitar solo. The instrumentals are so damn good in this, and Scary Little Green Man. Oh, what a fantastic song that is. I love that song. Ozzy Osbourne really outdone himself with this album. Fantastic album. If this was his last ever album, wow, he went out in style. Absolutely loved it. We move on to some black metal, and it is Blaze of Perdition, the Harrowing of Heart. Black metal album. It's a melodic black metal album. Love the guitar riffs throughout this album, not to mention his vocals. He incorporates cleaner vocals, and Suffering Made Bliss is one of the catchiest songs of 2020 at the moment. I love that chorus. That chorus is so damn melodic. But this album is just a really good, enjoyable album. Moonchild, wow, what a fantastic song that is. Yeah, that's why it's on my number 9 spot. I love how catchy this album is. I love how energetic and just how lively this album is. This band is truly alive and just delivering and kicking ass, especially on this album. Okay, so surprisingly, this is a band that I didn't think was gonna make it in my top 10, to be honest. It's Loathe. I let it in and it took everything. This album is mind-blowing. It really is. Now, I don't know what genre this is. Is this metalcore? I'm not too sure. But it's so damn experimental, this album. Like, they do it so well. At times they incorporate shoegazy elements. At times they incorporate some metalcore elements. Those screams are incredible. Those harsh vocals are amazing. The guitar riffs are amazing in this. Like, you got Two-Way Mirror, which is very shoegazy. Dare I say, sounds like Deftones, except they do Deftones way better than Loathe is 100 times better than fucking Deftones. That's for sure. This is a brilliant album. It really is. And not to mention, heavy is the head that falls with the weight of 1,000 thoughts. Wow, you'd say it's a metalcore album, but then they're incorporating crazy blast beats and crazy shrieks, and it's a black metal. It's insane. It's got metalcore, it's got deathcore, it's got metalcore, deathcore at times, it's got shoegaze, it's got black metal. Oh, this is an incredible album, really is. Mixed different genres. One of the best albums of 2020, and there's no doubt this album will make it in my end of year list. Fucking brilliant album. I love it. I love it. I play it all the time. This is a really enjoyable album. It's so damn different. I checked out the other album as well. Was really impressed with that album. Loathe do it so much better than other bands out there. They are winners in my eyes. I love them. Okay, so let's move on to number 7, and it is Cosmic Terror by The Spirit. Brilliant. This is an absolutely brilliant album. I love the artwork as well. The artwork is amazing. It looks like an eyeball surrounded by rings. Serpent as time reveals, an amazing hard energetic song, not to mention those vocals are fantastic. This is a black metal album as well. I love the production of this album. The White Emptiness is an amazing song. This is just an in-your-face album. These songs average about 6 or 7 minutes. This album is just a journey. Okay, so coming in at number 6 is, it's ARBRYNTH, A Place of Buried Light. This is a folky doom metal album. I love the Dark Between the Stars. At times they sound like Opeth, and I just love the acoustic sections. I just love how the songs build up. At times very atmospheric. You listen to this and you just go on an adventure. It is a fantastic album, a must check out, and they are definitely kicking goals. This was their sophomore album after they released an album 11 years back, and that other album was fantastic as well. Wow, they showed wonders on this. Brilliant album. definitely check it out. A Place of Buried Light. Let's have a break from the albums. We're going to the worst albums of February 2020. There are only 2 at the moment. And the first one is Anvil, Legal at Last. Look, I do enjoy Anvil, but I didn't enjoy this album. I do not. It is a pathetic album by this band. They can do a lot better. Just look at Haunt. Listen to Haunt, Mind Freeze, and then listen to Anvil, Legal at Last. A fucking atrocious album by this band. They talk about marijuana. Don't get me wrong. Some catchy songs, especially at the end of the album. Not to mention some riffs. But yeah, Anvil, Legal at Last. A fucking terrible album. Stay away from it. And then we move on to a newly released album that was released last week. It's Thor Rising. This album is fucking atrocious as well. The vocals are fucking terrible on this album. I don't like them. This is an abomination. An abomination. Thor Rising, stay away from it. Stay away from it. The musicality is pretty good, but the vocals, man, the vocals just do it for me. I hate it. And I don't like the production as well. So those are the 2 worst albums of February 2020, in my opinion. You may have liked it, but in my opinion, I thought they were very bad. Right, so coming in at number 5 is a newly released album that was released last week, and it's NEAERA. NEAERA. Oh, this is a melodic death metal album, but it's incorporate elements of deathcore, I could say. Incorporate elements of black metal as well. This is a fantastic album. It really is. I love False Shepherds, The Catalyst. To mention Lifeless is an amazing song. Touchbearer, Deathless. Brilliant album. The guitars are amazing. The riffs are amazing. The shrieks, the aggressive vocals are just magnificent as well. One of the best albums of February 2020. I absolutely love it. There's not much I can say about this album. This album is close to flawless. I fucking love this. This is a fantastic album by NEAERA. I'm glad they're back as well. To be honest, this is one of the best albums they've ever made. One of the best. Okay, so now we move on to a French black metal band, and it's Regarde les Hommes Tomber, if I said that right, and the album Ascension. This album blew me away. It really did, and I love it. A New Order's a great song. It's very melodic. The guitar solos are amazing in this as well. The crowding is fantastic. Not to mention those riffrages, all fucking sexy riffrages, along with how prominent the bass is throughout some of these songs. The vocals are amazing as well. This album is just brilliant, very atmospheric, and not to mention the album cover looks amazing as well. One of the best albums of February 2020, to be honest, and this is why it's so high up on my list. It's a brilliant black metal album, and I absolutely loved it. The French do it so well. Okay, so coming in at number 3 is Dark Fortress, Spectres from the Old World. I love this. This is a great album. It really is, and I feel that I could have put it up a little bit higher. The other 2 albums after this, I fucking absolutely adore. I listen to them every day. This album was released last week. Paliaika, one of the best songs I've heard for a very long time. I absolutely love it. This is a black metal album, incorporating progressive elements as well. And although I feel that this album is not as good as Lamb, this album is just in a lane of its own. It really is. One of the weakest songs off the album would be In Deepest in Time, but then you got hard-hitting songs like Swan Song, The Spider and the Web. The Spider and the Web's a fantastic song as well. Not to mention, every single song features a guitar solo, and these guitar solos are juicy and mouth-watering. This is one of the best albums I've heard this year. And no doubt it will be an abomination if this isn't on my end of year list. Okay, so coming in at number 2 is Demons and Wizards 3. This album is absolutely magnificent. It really is. Hansi vocals, it's really fantastic on this album. Not to mention how catchy Wolves in Winter is. Cha, cha. I love that song. I love Timeless Spirit. I love the acoustic backbones throughout some of these songs. And Children of Cain is an amazing song as well. Not to mention how atmospheric some of these songs are. Diabolic is one of the best songs off the album. Invincible, it is slowly growing on me. Dark Side of Her Majesty sounds like something out of AC/DC. Those AC/DC riffs are amazing. It's how they were inspired by Iron Maiden, AC/DC throughout this song. Midas Disease, another amazing song. Yeah, this album is just fantastic, and I feel that maybe I was a little bit harsh on the rating. I'd bump it up probably to a 9 out of 10 now. It's a very enjoyable album. This album does grow on you. At first I was a little bit underwhelmed, but I gave it a chance and I listened to it and listened to it and listened to it, and I fell in love with it. This album's a grower. It is a grower. You gotta listen to it a few times to really appreciate it. Split, one of the most evil songs I've heard from a Demons and Wizards album. That was magnificent. Sounds like something out of Dante's Inferno. So what is my number one pick of February 2020? They have become one of my favorite bands, and it's none other than Polaris, The Death of Me.
So tell me what it is, if it is to be you. If it is to be used and abused.
You're probably surprised a metalcore album is right up top, but I gotta say that this album just blew me away. It really did. Polaris haven't made a bad song yet. They haven't. All their songs, from Grief and Guilt all the way to The Death of Me, have just been stellar. I suppose one of the weakest songs you could say would probably be, I don't know, to be honest. This band is just flawless in my opinion. I gave Mortal Coil a 10, and I'll give this, The Death of Me, a 10, and probably the next album a 10. These guys are so damn consistent, it is ridiculous. Vagabond is an amazing song. Landmine is amazing. Fucking Hypermania is amazing as well. They incorporate post-punk elements, pop-punk as well. But I hate punk, so why do I love this album? I don't understand. But it's Jamie's vocals, which is just fantastic. Jake's vocals are amazing as well. Not to mention the guitar solos throughout this album. One nitpick is maybe expand the songs a little bit more, because they are a progressive metalcore band, and I just absolutely love this band overall. Polaris, The Death of Me, I don't know what album can top it. Maybe these guys can top it. Cradle of Filth, which is going to release an album this year as well. Honestly, don't know who's going to top it. Maybe Catatonia will, or maybe My Dying Bride will, but who knows. Polaris, The Death of Me is my number one pick of February 2020. The worst album of February 2020 is Thor. God damn it, that album is fucking horrible. It really is. So keep discussing in the comment section below. Subscribe if you want, and I will see you in the next one.